What weather is going off?
Daylight time. At 7:49 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, severe thunderstorms were located along a line extending from Lawton to Vicksburg to near Marshall, moving south at 50 miles per hour. Hazard, 60 miles per hour wind gusts. Source, observed. Impact, expects damage to roofs, siding, and trees. Locations impacted include Sturgis, Coldwater, Three Rivers, Bronson, Constantine, Quincy, Union City, White Pigeon, Centerville, Marcellus, Colon, Union, Nottawa, Girard, Flowerfield, Fawn River, Montville, Batavia, Leonidas, and Mendon. This includes Interstate 69 in Michigan between mile markers 4 and 21. For your protection, move to an interior room on the lowest floor of a building. Torrential rainfall is occurring with these storms and may lead to flash flooding. Do not drive your vehicle through flooded roadways. Repeating, a severe thunderstorm warning has been issued until 8:30 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time for the following counties in Michigan: Branch, Cass, and St. Joseph. A special marine warning remains in effect until 8:45 a.m. Eastern Daylight.
Earlier today, guys, we had a watch. Now we have a warning. Now we're under a warning. That means we already have a candle lit before I start recording. I lit a candle, so we're under a warning now. That means in about... Okay, which will be about 8 o'clock. The storm was hit around 8 o'clock today, so yeah, we're getting ready for it right now. Here's the TV. Yeah, we live in Three Rivers, guys. Okay. So yeah, guys, what you're seeing right now is the TV, Channel 3 out of Kalamazoo, Michigan. All that yellow is bad. Let me just do some real quick here. No, that doesn't make a difference. Mendon, Three Rivers, Constantine, Nottawa, Bronson, Girard, Colon is under this warning. Leonidas is under this warning. I mean, this is something, guys, we are not taking. This is a warning, so this is something that we're going to be keeping an eye on. Porridge. That's not that far from us, guys. That's Kalamazoo Porridge area. Guys, we got 2 cameras with us right now, so if we lose power, guys, don't worry, guys, we're good. We have a spare. I'll get the radio and the lights. I'll get the radio right now. I'm getting the radio. I do have a candle lit. I got the radio and the bucket light. Ooh, that's heading towards us. They're saying there's hail outside in Kalamazoo. There's hail. I'm going to get the tripod out for you guys to watch the TV. They haven't put us on the board yet. Which is not surprising because, again, some major population
this storm. I mean, Julie, you hear that on our roof.
Yeah.
That's pretty intense rain right now.
No, it's coming down, and it is almost 8 o'clock this morning, and a lot of folks going into work, have the 9 to 5 kind of schedule. This is going to be, a big deal driving to work too this morning, so keep that in mind.
Yeah, we encourage you to stay home for a little while if you can. Call the boss and don't do that. I mean, it is coming down.
It has got dark outside, guys. All of a sudden, it has got dark outside.
See, would not want to be on an interstate right now trying to drive through this. And I think if you are, and for somehow, some way, maybe you are pulled over and you're streaming us on your cell phone or your tablet right now. Yeah, you gotta wait this one out. And I just want to give you.
Okay, guys, it's getting darker outside, so I'm gonna put their camera out real quick.
The main thrust of the.
But I'll keep you guys on the TV.
Or our bow and go, or our line segment, and again, it's on the leading edge where we're expected to see some of those 50, 60 plus maybe miles per hour gusts. So we're now looking at Decatur, that part of Van Buren County, Schoolcraft, for instance, the Pavilion area, the Scotts area, the Kalamazoo,
There you guys go.
and so forth. Our friends in East Leroy and Marshall in Calhoun County. So you're really seeing it thrust, and you can see that it actually extends all the way back out over Lake Michigan. And then we've got a few more cells that have just sort of revitalized here south of Milwaukee and on the north side of Chicago. So we're going to have to deal with those sort of late morning. That will continue. The other thing to keep in mind here is there's a lot of rain and there's still a lot of lightning behind that leading edge. So we
Okay, guys, Mom sent me a picture, which I'll show you guys later on YouTube.
most of Barry County, Kent, our I-96
I'll
counties,
put it on my YouTube channel later.
under severe thunderstorm warnings. We still have a lot of issues here. And I think the other thing, Kirk and Julie, and you know this.
I'm gonna leave this on, guys. I'm gonna go
spills out
to this power. See,
Howard and
ooh, I'm
Kutztown,
putting that on.
they all come together. That is a typical sort of flood-prone spot. I'm sure there's probably standing water right now.
Well, there was a day last week when we drove in where we had roads shut down, and it's been a lingering problem. These storms have been just brutal with the amount of rainfall we've had. And again, it's playing out right now, so that'll be something we'll follow to see. But it is coming down so hard here right now. It's going to be we think some pretty big rain totals in a short period of time.
Yeah, no kidding. And we do have an update from consumers right now. We're up to 113,000 customers without power. And we are now seeing more of those power outages popping up around the Kalamazoo area, a little bit south of where we had shown you really not that long ago. So here we go. You can see more of those power outage reports coming in from Southwest Michigan area, Kalamazoo, a little ways north of Battle Creek. So again, 113,000 customers don't have power this morning. And these numbers, like I said, they've just been jumping up even just in the last
They've gone 6,000 since we just last few minutes. And the colors are the worst as you go kind of northwest, because that's where these storms started this morning. I just want to remind folks again, further northwest in Muskegon County, that we have north and southbound business around US 31 at Seminole Drive. There are power lines down there right now, and the road is closed, so that would be an area. But Jeff, that's just a symbol of kind of where things started. That was one of the areas that was hit a while ago, because this thing's been moving from the northwest into our area.
And, I'm thinking about the people in Portage. I'm thinking about people that have suffered damage recently. And now you're waking up to this morning, and hopefully no new trees down.
It is black as hell outside, guys.
Probably.
I have a camera going on behind you guys, and I have a camera outside, and a camera right next to us. It is black outside. It is pitch black.
I wanted to bring up just a couple of quick gusts here and see what we're getting as far as some of our reports of the possibility of some of our gusts. You know what? There we go. Velocity 58 miles per hour, 58 miles per hour. Schoolcraft, Pavilion, and so forth. And my computer's playing a little bit of catch up here. That's why some of those are coming up.
Jeff,
go ahead, Kirk.
That's not good. You got to be careful, but there is a little bit of good news, right? We were on the air earlier this morning, and some of the places further north, it was stronger than that, correct?
We were talking about hurricane
Camera on the
force winds,
porch, camera on
70
TV.
plus 80 plus miles per hour. And I think when you were looking at the hail outside, I was saying to Julie that sometimes these trees get weakened from repeated events.
Yeah.
So it doesn't take as much wind as maybe you would think prior for them to come down. And even now, just since we've been doing this extended coverage here on News Channel 3, as we approach 8 a.m. on the clock, rain has started to lighten up significantly now.
Big difference. Just a big difference.
Yeah.
We're up to 116,000 customers who don't have power now. So again, we are, seeing more of those reports come in too. Something to keep in mind here this morning.
But that's a dramatic shift. It's just got not nearly as hard the rain here. So it hit hard, but it seems like we're maybe coming through the other end of it here in Kalamazoo right now.
And the storms are moving at about 35 to 40 miles per hour, so they're not in any spot for that too terribly long of a time, which is, a little bit of good news here. And again, yeah, that visibility much improved as we're looking at our Kalamazoo County camera, downtown Kalamazoo camera right now. Okay, so let's do a little bit of cleanup here on our existing warning. So Eastern Cass County hasn't even really started yet. So your warning in play through 8:30. All of St. Joe County warning in play through 8:30. And I just picked one spot here on our line. You can really pick any spot, but like Madison, we're talking about hail and pea-sized hail and so forth. That could also create crop damage, especially for our sensitive crops that farmers have been planting over the last several months. So that's just another potential consequence here. But again, you notice that southeasterly motion, again about 35 to 40 miles per hour, really almost coming right down, I would say, like parallel to perpendicular here to I-69. And there's that northern edge or that leading edge where the rain is really just kind of really slackened off a little bit in Kalamazoo, and that's where that warning cuts across. So the northern half of Kalamazoo County no longer in our severe thunderstorm warning. So it is now 8:01 on the clock. We've got 9 more minutes in our warning in Kalamazoo County. We have 9 more minutes for our warning. Rather, let's do the math here. 14 minutes for Calhoun County. Both of these set to expire at 8:15. Kirk, Julie, are you seeing anything new about power outages?
They keep going up. We're at 117,000 right now. I just texted my
thunderstorm warning. I know what the thunderstorm warning in the area does.
County, but I'm just checking to see if he's okay because it's summer break. Sure, just a little more information. I also had texted my wife about her drive to work, and she got in right before the storm got really bad. But again, 117,000.
Which was a Dadson's happened.
I think it was 107 when we
I know what Dadson's happened in state Dads.
It's jumped up a lot. But what is so dramatic right now is it has gone quiet now, where we were hearing pounding rain above us in our studio, which is near downtown Kalamazoo. So we've definitely kind of ridden out the worst of the storm, at least in our direction. It's coming your way now, and we want to be clear on that. It's going to be heading south, I would think, right, Jeff?
Yeah, exactly, south and southeast. And here we go. You're watching the storm sweep across Van Buren County right now. I think I'm really right at the point where I might need to close our program and then open it back up. But again, we've already seen signs here of some 40, 45, 50 mile per hour gusts in Van Buren County. There's still a lot of lightning on the east side of South Haven. So that will continue to be an issue. Even though Van Buren County isn't under a warning, we still want to treat them like they are. I'll just read a couple of statements here from the National Weather Service. This is about 11 minutes old. Severe thunderstorms were located along a line and extending from near Schoolcraft to climax to Albion, which we saw on live Doppler radar. Motion near southeast about 35 miles per hour. Hazard now 60 mile per hour gusts. So that's the kind of wind that could create damage to roofs, to siding, young trees.
Do you need a minute to get some computer stuff in order here? Because if we can either come out to Julie now, or you can take a camera shot, and we can let Jeff get a couple of things together and talk a little bit, whatever works for you guys. We just have to get some computer stuff in order. But again, we have about 117,000 consumers energy customers without power right now.
Actually, up to 118,500 now. So we have been getting those reports, and we want to draw your attention to the pictures that are on your screen right now. We've been hearing from a lot of you this morning about seeing these storms kind of roll in, especially here in Southwest Michigan, the Kalamazoo area. So this is kind of what some of you were seeing this morning. And
you guys, the rain should be starting cold now.
I think that's from Richland. I think that's a picture I saw from like eastern Kalamazoo County. This was before the rain hit.
So that's a shelf cloud or a wall cloud, and you can actually see like there's a striation there. You see those ridges on the frontmost flank, and sometimes they rotate. You could actually see them rotate as they come in, but I'm sure that's not the only picture with a shelf cloud like that. That is amazing. That is amazing.
Well, there's another one right there. And what is that? I mean, for people that are not as an expert on this like you, what is that? I mean, we've associated those with big storms coming, but what is exactly the science significance of that?
It's often the leading edge of maybe some really impactful gusts. It also might be the front end where that air comes down a little bit and it cools and it condenses, so you get sort of those interesting formations right at the leading edge. And they sometimes almost look like what you would think of as like a spaceship or an alien spaceship. They have really a weird feel and a weird look to them, but like a shelf cloud or a wall cloud, and sometimes they roll and they can be called, roll clouds. So it's one of those three. To me, that looks like a shelf cloud.
All right, we can talk a little bit for you because I know you got to get some computer stuff in order there. Again, just to kind of reset things, it's about 5 after 8 now, and we come to you from very close to downtown Kalamazoo, and I don't know that it's stopped raining, but it's gotten significantly lighter. We had pea-sized hail here. I'm looking at a camera shot we have over downtown that looks so much better, not nearly as much lightning. So the hard hit downtown Kalamazoo was taking is past, at least for now. But Julie, this storm now moving south, so certainly there's plenty of people watching right now who are going to be at risk, and we would tell you to be in a safe spot and don't head out right now if you don't have to. It's not really something. I don't want to be an interstate in one of these downpours, driving around through that.
No, because like you said, it was coming down, and we could hear it fairly loudly in our studio here. And like you said, it seems like it was here, and then for us at least, it got quiet real quick. So we've been hearing that, throughout the morning. This is a live look over downtown Kalamazoo. So for the most part, it looks, like you said, Kirk, for the Kalamazoo area, things are moving out here. And as far as power outages go, I know we've been keeping an eye on those throughout the morning. 119,000 consumers, energy customers, don't have power right now. So that number keeps going up this morning, too, as those storms have moved through. And like you said, it looks like most of the concentration is kind of north of us along the lakeshore, but then you can kind of almost see the path that those storms took as they moved over West Michigan here and down into Southwest Michigan. And again, we've been hearing from a lot of folks who could see these storms moving through. We showed you those pictures of those shelf clouds moving in earlier, so we know a lot of you have been seeing this and dealing with this.
Okay, I just zoomed in. Okay, this camera's a minute fast.
One of those shelf clouds we were showing, because I'm just looking through email, was from Coldwater this morning, and that was where that photo came in from. And I've also just seen a shot from Homer in Calhoun County showing those clouds. So keep sending those in. Obviously, we're in a safe spot and can take pictures, but we're getting a scope of just what's going on here. And again, these power outages, last check I had 119,000. Yeah, 119,000 consumers, energy customers now without. That's up 12,000 in just the last, 10 to 15, 20 minutes. That number had been up pretty big because Grand Rapids got hit pretty hard with so many people living there. Now it's moved into the southern counties of our viewing area, and they're going to get hit as well. And I think, Jeff, you've got some more information for us.
Yeah, my computer is back up and running now, which is a wonderful thing. So I'll show you what it's looking like. I'm going to give you some live pictures here at the Van Buren County area. So this now is Bangor. This is M43. It's a very busy stretch of M43. I'm watching lightning here. We've got rain all over the lens here. In fact, the image just slightly static. There we go. Brought things up to real time now. That car is making a left-hand turn, but it continues to pour right now in Bangor. And look, before the storm started, we were in the mid-70s, so we cooled off about a good 9 degrees or so. So the watch is through 9 a.m. along I-94, and then for points farther north. And we could probably remove some counties here that have already seen the brunt of the activity from earlier. A couple of things to keep in mind here. That 70 is no longer really on the table, probably more like 60 or 50 to 60. And we're still talking about the possibility of hail. But along the Michigan-Indiana line, so Branch County and St. Joe County, Cass County, Berrien counties, we're under a severe thunderstorm watch until 12, so it is lingering a little bit longer. But these are the remaining warnings. It's like the lower quarter of Kalamazoo County. So officially, Kalamazoo, you're no longer the city anyway. No longer under a severe thunderstorm warning. It's the lower third here, Calhoun County. So that's going to go for about another 6 minutes. St. Joe County, also, of course, Branch County, and then Cass County. We're talking about another 20 minutes, 21 minutes, so something like that. Okay, so we've got a bunch of things ongoing here. So we're now watching the thrust of this line make inroads in northern St. Joe County, northern Branch County. So that's where I'm most concerned about maybe some of those 50 to 60 mile per hour gusts. Behind it, of course, we've got rain, but nothing like what we had earlier. That's the reality all the way back to I-96. We also popped on or plotted on here our velocity scope. So Van Buren County was never under a severe thunderstorm warning. Looks like that's not going to happen, but the potential here for gusts 30 to about 40 miles per hour. They're coming in 30, 31 miles per hour, something like that. Another thing to keep in mind is even behind the sort of that leading edge where we think those gusts are going to be most prominent or most likely, behind that, we still have a ton of lightning. You know, Kirk and Julie, you guys know that. I mean, lightning is always dangerous. You often have the most severe weather deaths in every given year from lightning more than really anything else.
Yeah, I just received a text from somebody I know who was driving to work in Portage. They were just kind of describing the drive for me because they were streaming us and said it was extremely windy, really heavy rain. The hail was there. It was kind of small, so that would match what we had here. But certainly people are going to want to check their cars and maybe look at their house to see if there's any hail damage. But the good news is the hail the size of it doesn't seem to be the size we would normally associate with lots of damage. But that's something to keep an eye on as this plays out.
I'm going to give you a rainfall rate here. I'm sorry, Julie, just out of Van Buren County. So this is near Decatur and Lawton. This is where M40 goes south into Cass County. I mean, look at that. The rainfall rate is almost 9 inches per hour. I mean,
that's no good.
Yeah, obviously no good. Are you seeing something else on the consumers page right now?
Yeah, I'm just keeping an update here. 120,000 customers without power. 120,000, about 500. So, you know, just keeping an eye on that. And Kirk, you bring up a good point with checking your car for the possible hail damage and things like that.
Yeah, the roof of homes, obviously, that can be really hard on. Again, we noticed pea-sized hail here, and it's certainly not going on any longer. But that'll be something to consider. And again, we were showing you the pictures of the clouds. That was sort of the warning that this was coming. And we are getting a lot of emails. I've seen from Homer, I've seen from Richland, I've seen from Coldwater, some pretty spectacular photos of those clouds that foreshadowed what was to come, Jeff, storm-wise.
The National Weather Service just saying explicitly, this just came out, let's call it less than 10 minutes ago, numerous reports of trees and power lines down in Muskegon County, Ottawa County, Kent County, and Allegan County. Obviously, that's directly associated to where we're having our outage issues. The other thing to keep in mind, and Julie, I mean, this is remarkable. What was the most recent number you said, 119?
We're up to 120,000.
120,000. So at 7:55 here, it was about 110.
Yeah.
So that number, I mean, we might get up to 200,000. I'm just speculating here. The other thing to keep in mind is, and I know we say this a lot, but it bears repeating, stay away from the down lines. You see them in your neighborhood, outside your place of work, please stay away from them.
Yeah, and you mentioned the damage in Ottawa, Kent, Muskegon, and Allegan County. I spoke with our photographer, Alex, on the phone. He was in Allegan County where it was hitting pretty hard. He said it's bad. So, you know, he was in a safe spot, obviously not shooting video, but he just told me it was really, really bad at that moment. So it's not surprising that there would be plenty of reports of storm damage coming in from Allegan County.
Another thing I'm noticing here, it hasn't officially updated on our graphic, but it looks like Kalamazoo County severe thunderstorm warning has officially been canceled. So we'll see that update here in just a little bit. But now we focus on Cass, we focus on St. Joe, we focus on Branch. And again, they continue to be under warnings here through 8:30. So that's another 17 minutes here. And the other thing to just keep in mind, it's great to know that we have sort of an end point or an expiration point, but look at what we have off to our west here. So the warnings that are now in Chicago. Okay, we have warnings on the north side of the city and on the west side of the city. The trajectory here, is pretty much straight east. So these are things that we're going to need to watch for late morning and most importantly during, News Channel 3 live at noon. And that's saying that, the activity is about an hour away. Same kind of story here with the storms in Chicago immediately west and slightly west-southwest. We're worried about wind damage here. Yeah, we've referenced hail, and that's certainly going to be a part of the story as well, but it's really the wind that continues to be a big story. This is just using our distance tool here. What do you think, an hour and a half until that moves back towards Berrien County. Same time that we still have this really interesting signature here. The other thing I would start to be worried about here is flooding. You keep seeing these terrific rainfall rates over and over and over, while you've got a brontosaurus of a cell, right on top of you right now. There's more to come. There's more upstream, so that is an additional factor. I would really love to see what, like we said earlier, the bottom of Howard and Crosstown. I wonder what that looks like right now in any of the low-lying areas, the normally flood-prone areas that, if let's say you live near a river, those kinds of places, I'm sure have standing water.
Well, these places haven't been able to catch up and recover. I mean, we had the flooding last week, and then Saturday night, just overnight, those were huge rain totals that came in. So it's really, really added up. I mean, because you've noticed it outside, as hot as it's been, it really hasn't browned up outside because we've had so much rain. Where normally a week like last week with those temperatures, you would have thought a lot of brown.
I think it would have.
Okay, so Howard, that's where cars are passing? Yeah, so we just got a report that's close to ours. Howard and Crosstown was an area that flooded last week, and we do hear cars are passing right now, so that's some good news as we learn right now.
So here it is on our graphic system. The Kalamazoo County severe thunderstorm warning has expired. Calhoun County is also expired. They were supposed to expire at 8:15, and they did. So some good news, at least symbolically there. Still coming down really heavily near and south of I-94. You know, it was good to hear from George, our chief engineer. Go ahead, Kurt.
Well, we just got a report from Katie, who's one of our digital producers, and she says there is some flooding at Howard and Crosstown on the West Ditch Hill area. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. That's an area where obviously it's very problematic on these kinds of so you don't want to drive through lots of standing water. So it is best to just kind of stay home if you can right now and let this play out.
And now we have about 14 minutes until our warnings go away in St. Joe County and also Branch County, far eastern corner of Cass County. And look, the ball game really just starting to get going here for these parts of West Michigan that are just starting to see sort of that leading edge. And if we were going to draw our storm track right down to M40 here, we'll draw that right down to M40. So the Jones area, the Porter area, Montville and York, and eventually, the Michigan-Indiana line. We want you to be on guard here for some 50 to 60 mile per hour gusts. The warning's still in effect. I'm going to look and see if I have...
Porter is Union, guys. Union, Cass County.
Damage reports that are coming in here.
Porter, Union County, Union, Michigan.
There. Let's look over here for a brief moment. Yeah, much like you guys were showing some of those interesting cloud signatures and some of those wall clouds and shelf clouds. We have a bunch of them here inside our National Weather Service chat. In fact, a very interesting one out of Portage from just before the top of the hour. So,
yeah. Well, the Weather Service came out in the middle of this and said this had weakened some. Obviously, we're still in the middle of it. Be very careful, but it seems pretty clear as we sit here right now that those northwest counties, when we see Muskegon, Ottawa, Kent County, they took the hardest punch, at least so far this morning.
And I think when we were in the middle of our show, we were worried about the 70 and the 80 mile per hour gusts.
Yeah.
Look, there's an exponential effect when you're talking about winds upwards of 80 miles per hour versus something at 40 miles per hour. I mean, that's enough to tear off roofs.
Yeah.
Rip siding right off and gutters and those kinds of things. I just got a couple of reports here out of Lansing, a 37 mile per hour gust. The Clinton County area, the Ingham County area, their warnings, of course, are long gone as well. But the fact that maybe some of these newer gusts that are coming in, they're not as strong, certainly is some good news, but it doesn't mean we're done.
And you brought up a great point about Portage is an area we really think about because we had the May 7th tornado, and then we had more storm damage last week, and we just worry about weakened trees with this storm that came through this morning to see if there was any more trouble. Obviously, then we truly have homeowners who are nowhere near to having their lives back to normal, and then we have more severe weather rolling through.
Right, and you wonder, what folks are dealing with already, and then throw this on top of it. So I think that's a good point to bring up, Jeff, because, it might be not as, intense when it comes to the wind gusts.
Borough, Kinderhook, Jamestown.
Been through a lot, especially within the past several months here.
And if the ground is waterlogged, if the ground is soaked, it makes that
Where's
structure
that's the tree line, okay.
weaker, right? And maybe even easier to.
It's not here yet, but it's in here.
The ground. I've got a fresh storm track here for you. Borough and Bethel and Kinderhook and Jamestown.
I heard Bethel.
And the language here from the National Weather Service, as far as our Michigan-Indiana line counties go, we're worried about damage to roofs. We're worried about damage to siding. We're worried about damage to trees. And again, the main sort of thread line throughout all of this is still the possibility of 60 mile per hour gusts and the possibility of small hail. And look, we heard the hail here, so we know that a part of that front part of the line that you're seeing on your screen right now, entering right where US 12 and I-69 come together. That's a very busy stretch.
Yeah. And we should stress again our digital producer Katie, who just arrived at work, saying there's some flooding at Howard and Crosstown and Kalamazoo. I haven't seen it with my own eyes, so I can't characterize the severity of it. That's been a spot we've flooded in the past. So if you're heading out, and we do have some video now. It looks like we're D Avenue in 131. Okay, that's in northern Kalamazoo County. This is some. Is this live or is this on tape? This is a live look. Okay, so you see traffic is moving pretty good here right now. It's still cloudy and dark, but this is not nearly as bad as it was a short time ago.
Right. Yeah, I think this is kind of the aftermath, so to speak, of what we're seeing. But you can tell, I mean, just looking at the car's headlights too, just how misty it still is out there, which can sometimes be, you know, kind of a nuisance when you're driving. It's still something you got to keep in mind for sure.
I think I might have still seen some lightning there off in the distance. I don't know if that's possible.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. You know, we're looking at some new information now out of the Branch County area. We have our velocity scope dialed up here for you, indicating the possibility.
Branch.
The precipitation moving, the sort of the projectiles moving.
Bronson, Coldwater,
50 miles per hour.
Colon.
So that's sort of reflective here.
Colon, Athens. I have a friend living in Athens.
To be possible here.
We got viewers living in Athens, guys. We have to keep on this.
Madison and the Bronson area. Of course, this is US 12 right here. This is M86, and I would suggest the same kind of winds being possible in Colon, the Leonidas, and you know the Nottawa area in northern and northeastern St. Joe County. As we look at what is it, M80 and M60.
Thunder.
That's actually M60 through the northern part of the county. And you can also see at the bottom of your screen, again, we still have our warnings. That's also Hillsdale County, Branch County, and St. Joe County. Kirk and Julie, I have to add something to our weather bug, so I will be back in just a quick second. I just want you to know that.
Take your time, do what you need to do. We'll just update you, Julie. I'm just looking at the Consumers Energy outage map. It's almost 121,000 customers. I will say the pace of increase has slowed, but that's obviously a lot of people without power. It makes some sense to me because now where the storms are hitting some of the more rural areas, we've passed through the largest population centers, but obviously if you're in these southern counties, I also just want to point out another photo I've seen that I hope we'll get on the air at some point of a wall cloud. This is from the Gull Lake area. A lot of these photos are coming in from our viewers of just what was coming our way this morning.
Yeah, people pretty much seeing it come through. And, you know, Jeff mentioned the winds in Colon. We did get a message about 15 minutes ago from Debbie Herring saying that there was horrible wind in the Colon area about 8:07 a.m. So, again, about 15 minutes ago. But here are some of those pictures that you mentioned, Kirk. We've been getting them to our Facebook page, to our website, and this is what a lot of our viewers saw this morning as those storms were moving through their area. Really that kind of defined line and defined storm there. And like we said, we know here at the station, it got dark like that after our show when it started coming through.
And these kind of similar pictures have been coming in from a variety of towns. I mean, I've seen the Richland and Gull Lake area, but I've seen Homer and Calhoun County. I've seen Coldwater.
In Kalamazoo, Vincent
yes.
area. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's another one right there. I mean, wow, what an amazing picture that is, Jeff.
Yeah. Amazing is the right word. You just don't see stuff like that every day. So here's the situation right now. Kalamazoo County, Calhoun County, no longer do we have any warnings, right? But it's the far southern parts of these counties where we still sort of need to be on guard here a little bit. Certainly Van Buren County, we're never under a warning, but we're still watching our warnings on the Michigan-Indiana line. I think here's what we're going to do. Why don't we take a minute and a 45-second break? Let's reset. We'll come back at 8:25 with some fresh information. Does that sound good?
Sounds great.
Okay. All right. We'll be right back.